Well, that was quick. Yeah, this is the last mini memo drop that I'm going to do. And I want to explain why. When I structured the bet, I gave myself 2 episodes a week. Tuesday was for the messy experiment documentation parts, and Friday was for these tight little wisdom hits. And if you've been listening, you already know what happened because I talked about it in the last episode. The Tuesday episodes scare me because I cannot control them. I have promised myself that I will show up and discuss whatever happened because when you're trying to do something new, when you're building a new identity, things are going to be messy. Patterns are going to pop up. And I know I would have loved to been able to learn from someone else's real-time experiment. But I've only ever discovered people who record things retrospectively, people sharing as they look back on what happened. But we want to know what's actually happening before the success comes. So that's the real meat of this podcast. That's what Tuesdays are all about. But Fridays were a different deal. Fridays were going to be all about delivering these little mental reprogramming nuggets for your brain. And that meant I was going to be in complete control of what was happening on Fridays. Because Fridays, I could prove that I know my shit about the operating system of the mind. And if I'm being totally real, which is what this whole experiment is about, Friday was actually my insurance policy against looking incompetent on Tuesdays. So here's what I'm sitting with. My current business philosophy is built on subtraction, not addition. But my survival brain keeps trying to add more value, more content, more proof that I am worth your time. Think about it. When something feels insufficient, what do? We add. If our relationship feels shaky, we add more date nights. If business feels slow, we add more offers. If we feel unworthy, we add more credentials, more displays of expertise, more mini memos to prove we deserve to take up space. But what if adding is the problem? I've got a pretty solid month of evidence to look at here. I stripped away all the production filters from this podcast, and those crazy clicking noises disappeared. I stripped away designing highly visual posts in Canva for Instagram, and my engagement went up. When I subtract what I think I need, what I actually need emerges. And even as I'm sitting here recording this, speaking these words, my brain is screaming, once a week isn't going to cut it. People need more touch points. You're supposed to be building something. But here's the thing, the bet was never about building an audience. I'm not trying to grow a podcast. I'm simply here to document and experiment in real time. The podcast is the documentation. The podcast is not the business. These mini memos I've been dropping on Fridays are really me trying to hedge that bet. Like I'm going to show my cards while I'm still playing the hand. Here, let me prove I know something about mind training while I'm over here supposedly trusting energy over strategy. Doesn't make sense. And if we're getting really honest, because I'm going to do this experiment, I need to be transparent about everything. I think part of me was hoping that these mini memos would showcase my value enough that some people would want the full memo experience. I've got 180 episodes sitting there. Deep, rich, transformative content. And my ego thought, hey, this could be a new way to show people how great this is. If you can just give them a little taste here, they're going to want the whole meal. And the ego is sneaky. I wasn't even aware I was operating on that level. On a conscious level, I was thinking, if I make these little mini memos, then it will make this whole experience more fun for me. because I love that work. But that is performance energy. That is proving energy. That's please love me. I promise I am valuable energy. And I am done building anything from that frequency. So when I catch it happening, I've got to cut it out immediately. If this experiment has shown me anything in 4 weeks, it's that the universe responds to authenticity, not strategy. So I'm cutting the cord. Not because the mini memos are bad, and it's not because I don't think people deserve value, but it's because I've identified that the energy behind making those episodes is not compatible with where I'm leading myself. And that last part, that's everything. The energy behind your actions determines the reality you create. You can't build a sustainable business from proving energy. I'm not going to spend the rest of my days proving myself. You cannot create authentic connection from performance mode, because then everything becomes a performance. That's not sustainable. You can't bet on yourself while simultaneously hedging against your own experiment. So the most authentic thing I can do right now is acknowledge that these Friday drops were never for you. They were my safety blanket. They were my way of ensuring that even if Tuesday's episode was messy, at least Friday would prove I'm legitimate. But legitimacy isn't something you prove. It's something you embody. And you embody it by making aligned choices, even when, and especially when, those choices mean you have to do less, not add more. So here's what happens next. Tuesday episodes continue. Raw, real, documenting whatever the universe delivers that week. If something organic emerges that belongs in this spot on Friday, if there's something that needs to be said beyond Tuesday, I'll say it. But I'm not going to schedule authenticity anymore. I'm not going to promise bi-weekly value to hedge against my own vulnerability. This is me right now choosing the experiment over the performance. This is me trusting that documenting the real journey is enough. It's more than enough. It's the thing. It's everything. Because the energy behind those mini memos is not compatible with where I'm leading myself. And if you're still listening after this, if you're witnessing me catch myself trying to earn my worth and choosing differently, then we're building something real. This is proof that you can build success by subtracting. Sometimes the most powerful move is stepping out of the game and refusing to play the game. The bet continues Tuesday. Thank you for witnessing this. Thank you for holding space while I choose building over performing. Even though right now the building feels like it's doing less. Go bet on yourself. See you Tuesday.